Whoever said tag team wrestling was dead clearly hasn't tuned into the medium for a long time. Some of the best action and moments from the preceding 10 years have come under the header of tandem warfare, be it a two-man machine or perhaps a larger collective. Admittedly, there was something of a lull, especially on WWE's end, in the aftermath of the TLC 6 and SmackDown 6, but business has more than picked up in recent years. But who has the best team and/or group been this past decade? And most importantly, how do you determine just who has been the greatest? Is it the quality of their matches? How about their general influence, the intrigue and wonder that they inspire in the audience? Surely lasting power has to be a factor, because even some of the most skillful duos may have wound up having a short shelf life. All of these qualities must be considered as we here at Cultaholic, with a little help from our friends, work to determine who the greatest team or group has been since the dawn of 2010. And you will come to agree whoever said tag team wrestling was dead was damn wrong. But before we start, a few honourable mentions. Chaos, The Briscoes, DIY, The Bar, and Red Dragon. I'm Adam Pachisi from Cultaholic.com, and these are the 10 greatest tag teams of the 2010s. Join us! Number 10, Mustache Mountain / British Strong Style. It's easy to think of the BSS trio with a bit of whimsy, since Tyler Bate and Trent Seven can inject some comic brilliance into their matches, but the beginnings were much darker. Seven and Pete Dunne turned on respective partners Bate and Damian Dunne in 2016 to form a villainous partnership. Bate later joined the group after helping Dunne win the Progress Championship, and the three became classic heels, speaking to their own superior virtue with an undercurrent of mat-based grit. In whatever form the three take, they've amassed a huge fan base, bringing their unique ring work and undeniable charisma to a new audience across the Atlantic. Bate and Seven's feud with the Undisputed Era produced some of the best tag team matches seen in recent years. Few combinations have produced the sort of in-ring timing and chemistry that Bate and Seven demonstrate, and they're capable of playing both lovable heroes and ruthless heels at the drop of a hat. Having Dunne in the fold only makes a premium syndicate even stronger in more ways than one. Number 9, the Lucha Bros. One is a Mortal Kombat character come to life, blending aesthetic wrestling with uncanny charisma and remorseless sadism. The other is one of the most jaw-dropping high flyers in the world today, springing and flipping off the ropes with the same ease that one blinks their eyes. In some ways, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix feel like an odd couple, but the legitimate siblings are just as adept a duo in professional wrestling as they are singles stars. As a team, Pentagon and Fenix have held championship gold almost everywhere they've gone, including Impact Wrestling, AAA, PWG, The Crash, and MLW, while they at press time remain in the thick of the All Elite Wrestling tag team title scene. In virtually all of those companies, both men also maintained a presence as singles competitors due to their wholly unique attributes as individuals. While both are undeniably excellent performers inside the ring, there's a mystique about each man that puts them a cut above most of their peers. Combining their respective auras and skill sets, the Lucha Bros bring so much to the table and will continue to do so for many years to come. Number 8, the Usos. It took quite a while for fans to truly appreciate what Jimmy and Jey Uso brought to the dance, mostly because it took WWE a while to allow the best versions of themselves to shine through. After motoring along as two smiling babyfaces to minimal fanfare for much of the decade, the Usos turned heel in 2016, fleshing out a much more emboldened, aggressive side of themselves that came to include freestyle rapping. We all wondered, where were these Usos the whole time? With 6 total tag team title reigns on the main WWE roster, Jimmy and Jey were always going to be an anchor for the company's tag division, since WWE was likely set on keeping the twins as one. Staying together assured us at least one reliable tandem at all times. Even before occupying the Uso Penitentiary in 2016, the brothers gave us some excellent bouts against the likes of the Wyatt family, the New Day, and Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Over the past 3 years, they've been even better in the ring, and their much improved character work only enhances a team that has been criminally misused for so long. Number 7, LIJ. Many stories of greatness in pro wrestling have begun with fans initially rejecting somebody, only for said somebody to refine themselves into something greater. Take, for example, Tetsuya Naito, backed by the New Japan office as the next top babyface star, but rejected by fans who didn't see him as such. When the push lost a bit of steam, Naito journeyed to Mexico's CMLL promotion, where he joined the heel LIJ stable with the likes of La Sombra and Rush. In late 2015, Naito formed the Japanese wing of the group in New Japan, along with Evil and and Bushi. Naito's new anti-authority mindset was a stark departure from his prior clean-cut image, and it led him to the IWGP Heavyweight title that had once been ordained for him. In addition to Naito, the group's members have all had their own golden runs, including Bushi, Evil, Sanada, Hiromu Takahashi, and Shingo Takagi, making for a very decorated title history in just 4 years. The group's nefarious and disrespectful ways ended up striking a chord with fans, who now cherish them, the now popular Naito especially, as anti-hero good guys. Number 6. The Revival. Some fans want retro, others want something that feels contemporary. With Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, you get scores of both from two tag team specialists that may well be the illegitimate sons of Arn Anderson. Classic tag team wrestling done in Enforcer style with a litany of partners might feel like it's from another time, possibly anachronistic in the 2010s, but what Dawson and Wilder do is state of the art. And more importantly, it earns lots of praise. Cutting the ring in half, creative cheating, tag team continuity, building to the hot tag, and knowing how to seamlessly coordinate the time-tested formula in a way that's exciting, these are the hallmarks of two men who can work their magic with opposing teams of wildly different DNA. In NXT, they delivered Match of the Year caliber bouts with American Alpha and DIY, while house show patrons were treated to absolute gold in 2019 whenever the pair faced Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. With their wrestling aided by a masterful Twitter game, Dawson and Wilder enjoy a considerable cult following as fans wonder what awaits the pair in the next decade. Number 5. The Undisputed Era. Some will cry blasphemy when somebody, anybody, is compared to the Four Horsemen of days gone by, and it's probably true that nothing is going to replicate Ric Flair's round table of dirty elitism. But that doesn't mean there aren't elements of the Adam Cole-led quartet that don't bring to mind the sheer dominance and masterful wrestling of their industry forefathers. In a brand that places heavy value on the quality of its wrestling, the Undisputed Era exemplified core NXT. While the initial trio of Cole, O'Reilly, and Fish was quite potent, the addition of Roderick Strong to the fold, especially with his tag team bouts alongside the always engaging O'Reilly, brought the era to another level. Now it's hard to ever imagine NXT without the expert wrestling and artful underhandedness that has dominated the men's title scenes for the last several years, given how prolific the group has become. Not too many four-man groups in wrestling stay together for as long as the Undisputed Era has, without any addition or subtraction, while possessing their rare track record of quality performances. For both endurance and production, they are among the greats. Number 4. The Shield. The WWE landscape in 2012 wasn't exactly fresh, to be perfectly honest. The upper tiers of the card were clogged with the same people over and over again outside of Ryback. Maybe 1 out of every 4 or 5 developmental call-ups was interesting, and most were just generic wrestlers in basic trunks with one semi-distinct character trait if they were lucky. That's why the sudden arrival of Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, soon to be clad in tactical gear, was a revelation. The Shield began at the top, dismantling opposing trios through well-honed teamwork and strategy, as well as a collective killer instinct that immediately made them the coolest guys on the roster. Groups like the Shield didn't come along every day, and even rarer do they hit the ground running as Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns did. They didn't smile and they didn't get wrapped up in WWE's Bazooka Joe punchline comedy, they just kicked ass, and kicked it on the regular. While all three would have their tales of woe when it came to cringeworthy angles in later years, the Shield was as bulletproof as the Kevlar they wore. Number 3. Bullet Club. The Revival aren't the only entrants on this list that are spiritual successors to a faded concept. If Dawson and Wilder, well, revived god-tier tag team wrestling, then the black-shirted Bullet Club are the heirs to the New World Order estate. The idea of a group of outsiders running roughshod over the establishment can be exciting no matter which side you take. Of course, many chose to be for life with Bullet Club, with the movement of their merchandise all the evidence you need. Whether it was the merciless battalion led at different points by Prince Devitt, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles, or the more meta version that it became under the helming of Kenny Omega and his friends in the Elite, Bullet Club wielded incredible influence and were absolutely a large part of New Japan's expanse in popularity over the last 5 years. Even with the appropriation of some NWO calling cards, Bullet Club felt revolutionary, a rising tide that satisfied fans who wanted to belong to something dangerous and cool. They live on today under the leadership of Jay White, still entrenched in various championship pictures 6 years following BC's founding. Number 2. The New Day. 5 years ago, most people agreed that Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods' all too happy, way too phony co-op was destined for the bin. Today, you can buy boxes of New Day cereal at various novelty shops, and Kingston's coming off a 6-month reign as WWE Champion. In between, WWE didn't shove an unwanted group down our collective throats, they eventually let 3 brilliant performers be themselves, and it paid off big time. It's ironic that the New Day felt so uncool and out of place when they emerged late in 2014, because few acts in wrestling have ever demonstrated an influx understanding of pop culture and cheery indulgence of geekdom like these 3. When much of WWE feels artificial and paint by numbers, New Day stand in stark contrast, both realistic and surreal all at once, and that's the core of their immense popularity. Their 7 collective reigns as WWE Tag Team Champions of some sort are a tribute to their enduring fame, their reliability as an act that can make even the silliest ideas hit the target. That is why New Day rocks. Number 1, the Young Bucks. Matt and Nick Jackson have been dismissed at times for move spamming, being video game wrestlers, apparently not selling as much as they should, and just generally killing the whole goddamn business with their shtick. And yet, what they do has resonated with an ever-increasing audience. Some simply refuse to see the innate skill, boundless athleticism, and yes, how great they can be when they rein themselves in for a traditional match. But where the Bucks have succeeded most is not at ringside, but rather in their self-promotion. You've got to be extraordinarily influential to be considered the best tag team on the planet by many, and do so without the WWE machine at your back. Even before Tony Khan opened the door to a new national product, the Bucks were the most talked about tandem on the independent scene, propped up by a unique YouTube series that showcases their personalities, expanding their global reach. As wrestlers and as businessmen, the brothers Massey have been nothing short of a success, changing the way wrestlers promote themselves and, for better or worse, depending on your point of view, how they perform inside the ring. When you wield the kind of influence that the Young Bucks have, you've changed the game, and not many tag teams or siblings can say they've done that.
Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.